What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jay Rich here to talk some NFL player props over on PrizePicks. Thursday Night Football tonight between the New England Patriots and the Buffalo Bills. Should be an interesting one. We'll see how good the game is. The weather has been pretty bad. It is in New England, so the Bills are on the road. They're 3.5-point favorites. But there is a line that I am very intrigued by, and it's one that we should be looking at pretty heavily. And PrizePicks, unfortunately for me, just bumped it up. But let's talk about Ramondre Stevenson over 34.5 receiving yards. It's a line that you see he's hit in 4 of his last 5 games. He's been getting a ton of volume. He had 9 receptions against Minnesota. He also busted a big run in that one. Mac Jones has been checking it down early and often to Ramondre, and that's really important. But the other thing that's important is that we get some good value, and on the books right now, this number is all the way up at 35.5 as the lowest number on MGM, and it's minus 140 at that same number on DraftKings. It's all the way up to 45.5 on PointsBet. For some reason, they like to play a little bit of games with their lines, but you know, it is up there. You see 37.5, 38.5, 35.5, heavily juiced to the over. So there's a lot of reasons to take this play on PrizePicks. Like I said, they just bumped it up from 31.5. That was definitely surprising. Damian Harris is not expected to play in this one. And so for me, I do really like this play. One of my favorites on the board, and I think if you were to pair that with anything, this is my favorite play. If you wanted to pair it with anything, I think you just pair it with Josh Allen's rushing yards. You see what he's been doing over the last 4 games. Yes, there was the one dud game against Cleveland, but I think that they know that he's going to have to run in this game. The last time he played New England, he ran for 64 yards, so again, another reason to think he will go over. The passing yards, I thought about going an under there because the weather maybe not so great and the conditions, and Josh Allen has been struggling. You know, on the books right now, his line for passing yards is about 268.5 to 270. On PrizePicks, it's 270.5, so not a ton of juice there. But at 44.5, it is a decent number on the books. You do see it anywhere from 44.5 all the way up to 43.5 or 44.5. So we're not getting a ton of juice here, but I think the more important part is that you are getting the good value in terms of, you know, that what Josh Allen's going to do, he's going to try and take over this game. He does that every game. But yeah, you see minus 120 to the over, minus 140 to the over, minus 115 at 43.5, 44.5. So PrizePicks is making us pay up for this number. So if you don't like it, totally understand. You could take the over on rushing attempts, but even that one is still juiced to the under in that regard as well. Like you see the passing yards here. Wow, they are dropping a little bit. So if you do want some value on PrizePicks, actually, I was thinking about the passing yards under. They dropped at 265.5. Yeah, like I said, it's dropping on the books right now, 263, 265. So they are dropping it as the books drop it. But it is an interesting line. I think that the rushing yards is probably pretty good. I was looking at a Singletary under as well at 54.5 rushing yards. He's had a good couple of games, but against Detroit and against Cleveland, I'm not really all the way there. Ramondre is my favorite line by far. I was looking potentially at field goal lines as well. Tyler Bass is someone that I think could be pretty good. Like you see, he's hit 2 field goals in 4 of his last 5 games, but against New England, he hasn't kicked a ton of field goals. We could see a lot of punts. Could be a sloppy game. Could be pretty low scoring. I believe the total's only like 44.5, and I think that may be even a little bit generous. Both these teams have somewhat struggled in the red zone. As you see, their kickers are the beneficiaries of that quite a bit. So that's kind of the way I'm leaning in this one. Like I said, Ramondre, the receiving yards, by far my favorite line. Whether you want to take the receiving yards or the receptions, I think both are good numbers. Let's see if they bump the receptions. They seem to be bumping everything. Still 4.5. This is one that was on DraftKings at plus 100 and moved all the way to minus 115 by the morning. And so I don't know if it's going to move a ton more at this point. It already kind of has moved quite a bit. But you see on MGM, it's still plus 100, but minus 115 on DraftKings, minus 118 on FanDuel, 27, 36, and then obviously 5.5 on PointsBet. So it is a few lines there that you can look at. Like I mentioned, you may want to pair something else with this play, but it is one that I think is great value on PrizePicks, and I think it's one that will only continue to go up. So I think if you wanted to go after that 34.5 receiving yards, it's a great number to target. As you can see, he's been phenomenal in his last few games. He's been one of Mac's top options. Mac isn't afraid to check it down. And so for me, this is one I would be willing to play, and I'm considering those Josh Allen passing yards under, or if you want to go the rushing yards over, I like both those numbers. I think with the passing yards coming down, you probably see the rushing yards go up a little bit. That's usually how it goes with a player like Josh Allen. As talented as he is, you see he's gone over 49 in 4 of his last 5 games, just the one dud game. But I do like Allen quite a bit, and I do think there's a lot of reasons to be optimistic about him in this matchup. He's going to have to put the team on his back. They can't afford to lose this one. So tonight, that's the way I'm leaning. I would take Ramondre Stevenson's over receiving yards at 34.5. If you want to go with the receptions, it's a fine number. It's a little bit better on the sports books, in my opinion. But as always, if you tail, give PrizePicks hell, and if we fail, do not bail. This should be a close one. Hopefully it's a good game, and I'll see you guys later. We'll drop some NBA plays tomorrow, and of course throughout the weekend, and then we'll get some more NFL plays for you as well. I'll see you guys later, and I'm out. Peace.